Right, let's be honest. If I told you a rock band's massive US tour was brought to a screeching halt by, of all things, a pigeon, you'd think I was having you on, wouldn't you? But it's true. Back in 2010, Kings of Leon were just 3 songs into a gig in St. Louis, when a flock of pigeons in the rafters decided to, well, relieve themselves all over the stage. The band walked off, cancelled the show, and it became a bit of a running joke. But here's the thing, it's not the pigeon that matters, it's what happened next. It's the story of a band that could have been a punchline, but instead became a blueprint for longevity in one of the toughest industries on the planet. Let's rewind the clock. Before the roaring stadiums and the Brit Awards, there were just 3 brothers, Caleb, Nathan, and Jared Followill, and later their cousin Matthew. Their dad was a Pentecostal preacher, and their childhood was spent traveling across the American South in a purple Oldsmobile, moving from town to town for church services. They were homeschooled, largely cut off from secular music and culture. Imagine that for a second. The guys who would go on to write some of the rawest rock anthems of the 2000s grew up listening almost exclusively to gospel music. It's a backstory so unique you'd think a Hollywood screenwriter made it up. When their parents divorced and their father left the church, the boys moved to Nashville. It was there that they were finally exposed to the world of rock and roll, diving headfirst into the sounds of the Rolling Stones, The Clash, and Thin Lizzy. They were like sponges, soaking it all up. They barely knew how to play their instruments when they first got a record deal, based more on their look and story than their polished skills. Jared, the bassist, was only 16 and had never even played a bass before. It's a testament to raw, untapped talent and the power of a compelling narrative. Here's a secret the music industry doesn't often tell you. Overnight success is usually a decade in the making. Kings of Leon are the poster boys for the slow burn. When their debut album, Youth and Young Manhood, dropped in 2003, they didn't exactly set the charts on fire in their home country. America was a tough nut to crack. But over here in the UK and across Europe, we got it. We immediately fell in love with their Strokes meets Southern drawl vibe. They spent years relentlessly touring, playing every sweaty, sticky-floored venue and festival that would have them. They built their fan base 1 gig at a time. This strategy is so crucial for new artists to understand. If you listen to their first album and then their 4th, you might think you're hearing 2 different bands. And in a way you are. The scrappy garage rock sound of Molly's Chambers is a world away from the soaring, stadium-sized anthem that is Sex on Fire. This, right here, is one of the most important and controversial parts of the Kings of Leon playbook, the courage to evolve. They started as indie darlings, the critics' favorites, but as they grew as people and as musicians, their sound grew with them. They didn't want to be stuck making the same record over and over again. This evolution wasn't without its critics. For your daily fix of awesomeness, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell. They had reached the absolute pinnacle of success. Headlining Glastonbury, winning Grammy Awards, selling out arenas worldwide. But the pressure was immense. The relentless touring schedule, the sudden global fame, and the internal family dynamics started to take their toll. Tensions within the band, fueled by exhaustion and alcohol, began to boil over, often publicly. It culminated in a now infamous gig in Dallas, where Caleb walked off stage mid-show, saying he was going to vomit, grab another beer, and come back. He never did. The rest of the US tour was cancelled and the media went into a frenzy. But what did Kings of Leon do? They went quiet. They took a break. They went home to focus on family and to heal. This is perhaps the most human and most important lesson of all: know when to stop. When Kings of Leon started, the music industry was a completely different beast. Fast forward to today, and we're in a world of streaming playlists, TikTok dances, and constant fan interaction. One of the smartest things they did was embrace new technology on their own terms. In 2021, they made headlines by being one of the first major bands to release an album as an NFT. So let's break it all down. What are the practical, take-home tools you can put in your gig bag today? First and foremost, embrace your unique story. Your weird, wonderful, and unconventional background isn't a weakness, it's your superpower. Second, play the long game. Forget the fantasy of overnight success. Third on the list, evolve or die. Allow yourself the freedom to grow, to experiment, and to change. All right, we're at the halfway point, and if you're finding this useful or it's sparking some ideas, do me a favor and drop a comment below. I'd love to know what you think is the biggest challenge for artists today. And if you're enjoying this, Please share it with a fellow musician who might need to hear it. Finally, and most importantly, prioritize your well-being and your relationships. So, there you have it. The journey of 4 lads from Tennessee is so much more than a rock and roll story. It's a manual for survival, a lesson in resilience, and a guide to building something that truly endures. From their almost mythical origin story to their embrace of new technology, Kings of Leon have consistently shown what it takes to navigate the treacherous waters of the music industry. They have stumbled, they have fallen, and they have faced public humiliation, but they have always gotten back up, and they've done it together. They prove that success isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a constant process of learning, adapting, and growing. The biggest lesson, when you strip it all away, is one of authenticity and perseverance. They built a kingdom not on viral trends or calculated marketing ploys, but on the foundations of brotherly bonds, a unique personal story, and a fearless commitment to their own artistic evolution. For every musician out there today, feeling the pressure to create the next viral hit or to maintain a perfect online presence, the story of Kings of Leon should be a source of immense comfort and inspiration. Your journey is your own, and the most powerful thing you can do is honor it in all its messy, complicated, and beautiful glory. So as you go back to writing that next song, or booking that next gig, or editing that next video, remember the boys from Tennessee. Build your career on what's real, your story, your relationships, and your unwavering belief in the music you are making. That's how you build a kingdom that lasts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What's the biggest lesson you're taking away from their story? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to share this with anyone in your life who is chasing a creative dream. Let's keep the conversation going. For your daily fix of awesomeness, simply subscribe and smash that bell. I will see you in the next incredible video right here on Krannaken TV.